Hi everyone, myself Dr. P. Soumya, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal. In this session, I am going to discuss about hydrological cycle. So that is nothing but water cycle. So in this session, I am going to discuss about the topics. What is hydrological cycle in the steps involved in hydrological cycle like evaporation, transpiration, sublimation, condensation and precipitation, and also infiltration and runoff and conclusion. So first we should know what is hydrological cycle. The hydrological cycle, it is a system which describes the movement of water. It is the system hydrological cycle. It is the system which describes the movement of water between Earth and its atmosphere. So here it describes the movement of water in between atmosphere and Earth. So water cycle it describes how water is exchanged. How water is exchanged through Earth's land, ocean and atmosphere. So the water cycle, it describes the movement of water between Earth and atmosphere, and also describes how water is exchanged. How water is exchanged through the land, Earth's land, ocean and atmosphere. So here this hydrological cycle, it is also known as global water cycle. So this hydrological cycle also known as global water cycle or H2O cycle, global water cycle or water cycle. It is one of the most important processes in the natural world. So we know that it is one of the most important process. So in the natural world, so it describes the storage and movement of water in between the biosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. The hydrological cycle, it describes the movement of water between Earth and atmosphere, and it describes the storage and movement of water. It describes the storage and movement of water between the biosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. So it is also describes the continuous movement of all forms of water. So the hydrological cycle, it is also describes the continuous movement of all forms of water. We know that the water, it is having in different forms like vapor, liquid, solid and etc. So here vapor, water and solid and liquid. Water, it is in the state of vapor, liquid and solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. So here, so it is the hydrological cycle, it is also describing the continuous movement of all the forms of water, all the forms of water in and above Earth's surface. So this is about hydrological cycle. It is nothing but water cycle or global water cycle. So it describes the storage as well as movement, continuous movement of all the forms of water and between the Earth and atmosphere, Earth and atmosphere. So why is the water cycle it is so important? So what is the reason water cycle it is important? So 2/3 of Earth it is covered with water. So 2/3 of Earth it is covered with water, and 97.5% of it is salt water. So we know that 2/3 of Earth it is covered with water. 2/3 of Earth is covered by water, and it is in the 2/3 of water. So in this 97.5% of water is salt water. It is salt water. So remaining is fresh water. So the majority of fresh water it is beyond our reach. So majority of fresh water it is beyond our reach, and it is frozen into glaciers and polar caps. It is present in the form of glaciers and polar caps. the majority. So here 97.5% of water is salt water, remaining percentage is fresh water. In that fresh water, majority of fresh water, it is beyond our reach. So it is frozen into glaciers and polar caps. So water cycle, it is the natural circulation of water on earth. So the constant circulation of water between atmosphere, land and sea. So water cycle, it is nothing but circulation or movement of water on earth. So it means the constant circulation of water between atmosphere, land, sea. Atmosphere, land and sea. So the water cycle, it is responsible for distributing water across the earth through evaporation, transpiration, condensation and precipitation. So a process that is vital for sustaining life on earth by providing water to plants, animals and humans. So this water cycle, it is responsible for distributing water across the earth. So it is the water cycle, it is responsible for distributing, it is circulating water across the earth through different processes like evaporation, transpiration, condensation and precipitation. So these process, it is vital. It is a process that is vital for sustaining life on earth. So by providing water to plants, animals and human beings, by providing water to all the living organisms. So water cycle, it is responsible for distributing water to the various living organisms. So by the different processes. So this is that's why this water cycle is so important for all the living organisms and non-living organisms on the earth. So major processes are of hydrological cycle are, so different processes are there. So in that first process, evaporation, transpiration, sublimation, condensation, precipitation and infiltration and runoff. So various processes are there in hydrological cycle. Various steps are there in hydrological cycles. So that is evaporation, transpiration, sublimation, condensation, precipitation, and infiltration and runoff. So these are various processes of hydrological cycle. So through this cycle, that hydrological cycle, it is running. So first process that is transpiration. In that the transpiration, it is the process of where plants absorb water through the roots and then gives off water vapor through the pores called stomata. So transpiration, it is a process where plants absorb water through the water. We know that the plants absorb water through the through the roots, and these are then gives of water vapor through the pores of leaves. So that part is called as stomata. So here the plants, they will absorb water through the roots and they will give off water vapor through the stomata. So stomata, it is also stomata means stomata or the small opening pores. So stomata are, these are small opening found on underside of leaves. So this stomata, it will present on underside of leaves. So stomata, these are small openings, small pores. These are found on the underside of leaves. So this after transpired water passing through the plant, only 1% of water is used in the growth process, and the remaining 99% it is passed into atmosphere. So when this plant is we know that the plants are absorbing water through the roots, and these are gives off water vapor through the leaves. So that is that part of leaves are called as stomata. This stomata, it is small opening pores, so which are present on underside of leaves. So here, so 100% of water in 100%, if plants are absorbing 100% of water through the roots, only 1 percentage of water, it is used for the growth process. It is used for the growth process, and remaining 99% of water So this is passed into the atmosphere. So the remaining 99% of water, it is passed into the atmosphere. This process is called as transpiration. This process is called as transpiration. Process is called as transpiration. So here the plants are absorbing water through the water, and they then gives off water vapor through the pores of leaves. So this process is called as transpiration. Sublimation, movement of water directly from a solid to gaseous state without ever entering into the liquid state. So we know that sublimation means here directly conversion of solid into gas. Conversion of solid into gas. Conversion of solid into gas. So here gas into liquid, that is called as condensation. The process which gas is converted into liquid, that is called as condensation. Condensation process. The process of converting liquid into solid, that is freezing. The process of converting solid into liquid, that is melting. So the process of conversion of liquid into gas, so that is evaporation. So the process of directly conversion of solid into gases, that is called as sublimation. That is called as sublimation. So the process of gas into solid, that is deposition. So we have various processes like sublimation, deposition, evaporation, condensation, melting and freezing. So if solid directly convert into gaseous state, so that process is called as sublimation. That process is called as sublimation process. So here the sublimation, this in sublimation, this allows water in snow or glaciers to enter into the atmosphere directly. So in this process the glaciers are snow. So here the glaciers are snow directly converted into gases which are enter into the atmosphere directly. So in this process, the sublimation process, in this directly solid is converted into gases which is enter into the atmosphere directly. So in these glaciers or snow, these are converting into the gaseous state which gas is enter into the atmosphere directly. This is the sublimation process in hydrological cycle. So next one is condensation. Condensation, it is the process whereby water vapor in the atmosphere is changed into liquid. So we know that in this condensation process means the water vapor, it will convert into liquid. Water vapor, it will convert into liquid. So here condensation, it is the process whereby water vapor in the atmosphere, it is changed into liquid. It is changed into liquid state. So in the atmosphere, condensation may appear as cloud or dew. So in the atmosphere, condensation, it is appear as a cloud or dew. So here condensation, it is a process whereby the water appears on the side of a cold drink or a bottle. So it is a process. Example of this is condensation. It is a process whereby water appears on the side of a cold drink can or a cold drink can or bottle. So condensation, it is in hydrological cycle. It refers to water being cooled at high altitude where the temperature is low enough for the formation of cloud. So condensation in hydrological cycle, it refers to water being cooled. In this, water being cooled at high altitude where the temperature is low enough for the formation of cloud. In this condensation, so the water vapor, it is changed into liquid. So it is in the process in atmosphere, it condensation may appear as cloud or dew. So here water vapor, it is converted into cloud or dew. So in this condensation, the hydrological cycle, it refers to water being cooled. In this, water being cooled at high altitude and where the temperature is low enough for the formation of cloud. So this is condensation process in hydrological cycle. In this in this condensation process, water vapor, it is converted into liquid. So it is in the form of cloud or dew. Next process is precipitation. Precipitation, it is the result when the tiny condensation particles grow too large. So here precipitation, it is the result where condensation particles grow too large. Here precipitation, so in this tiny condensed particles, these are combined together and these are forming large molecules. So these are growing too large. Precipitation, it is nothing but condensation. In this precipitation, it is the result when the tiny condensation particles grow too large. So water released from clouds in the form of rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, hail. So we know that the water released from clouds in the form of rain, snow, freezing rain, sleet, snow, or hail. So it is in the form of different forms like rain, snow, sleet, and hail. So it is the primary connection in the water cycle that provides for a delivery of atmospheric water to the earth. So it is the process, it is a primary connection in the water cycle that provides for the delivery of atmospheric water to the earth. So in this precipitation process only that water, so the water it is delivered from the atmosphere to the earth. So it is nothing but rain. So in this precipitation process, so it is the process when that condensation particles grow too large. So then this time the water is released from clouds in the form of rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow, or hail. So it is the primary connection of a water cycle that is providing atmosphere connection between atmosphere to the earth. So like in the form of rain. So this is precipitation. So next one is runoff. Runoff is that portion of runoff. It is the portion of precipitation which makes its way towards stream, channels, lakes, or oceans as a surface or subsurface flow. So here this is the runoff. It is a portion of precipitation when rain is falling on the land. So runoff takes place. It is a portion of precipitation which makes its way towards streams, channel, lakes, or oceans as a surface or subsurface flow. Runoff will occur only when the rate of precipitation exceeds the rate at which water may infiltrate into soil. So runoff will occur only when rate of precipitation exceeds the rate at which the water may infiltrate into the soil. So here the flow of water from the ground surface into ground. Once infiltration, the water becomes soil moisture or groundwater. So here the flow of water from the ground surface into ground. So in this runoff, first it is water is runoff. It will run off water. It will occur only when rate of precipitation exceeds the rate at which water may infiltrate into soil. So the flow of water it will takes place from the ground into ground surface into ground. So once infiltration, the water it will become soil moisture or groundwater. So this is the process of runoff. So this water is going from ground surface into ground level. Infiltration. In this infiltration process, the infiltration it is the process in which water is absorbed by soil of any area by downward movement of water during rainfall. So here it is a process in which water is absorbed by the soil. So when rain is fall down, so here the process in which the water is absorbed by the soil of any area by the downward movement of water during rainfall. So this process is called as infiltration. So in this water is absorbed by the soil in downward direction, in downward movement. So here the porosity and pore size distribution. So it will affect the infiltration rate. The porosity and pore size distribution of soil. The porosity and pore size distribution of soil, it can affect the infiltration rate. The infiltrated water slowly becomes a part of groundwater. So in this infiltrated water, it slowly becomes a part of groundwater. So here, when rainfall, so the sum of water, these are absorbed by the soil. Sum of water is absorbed by the soil, and so here the infiltration rate, it is dependent on the porosity and pore size of the soil. So this infiltration water, these are become slowly becomes as a groundwater, as a part of groundwater. So these are the processes involved in hydrological cycle. So this is the water cycle. In this, we have different process like evaporation and condensation, precipitation, sublimation, and surface runoff, and also infiltration. So in evaporation process, the water from the lakes and oceans are evaporated by using sunlight or heat energy. So these are evaporated, and so in this water, liquid is converted into water is converted into water vapor. Water vapor. So first process vapor evaporation. In this, water is converted into water vapor. In second that is condensation. So water vapor again converted into water vapor, it is converted into liquid. Water vapor, it is converted into liquid. So it is in the form of cloud or dew. So after that, in precipitation process, this liquid which is in cloud, these are converted into rain or snow. So these are converted into rain, and these are coming back to the earth surface. So these are again absorbed by the plants or trees. So these are undergoing transpiration process. So if the plants are absorbing 100% water, only 1% of water is used for the growth of tree, and the remaining 99% of the water, it is enter into the again atmosphere. So when rainfall is coming, the water, some of water are absorbing by the soil. So that process is called as infiltration, and some other parts, some remaining the part of water, it is run off on the surface. It is in the form of lakes, oceans, and other. So this is nothing but runoff. So these are different processes which are present in hydrological cycle. So coming to the conclusively, hydrological cycle involves the circulation of water between the earth and its atmosphere. Hydrological cycle, it involves the circulation of water between the earth and its atmosphere. So water is constantly moving from one place to another through the process. We know that evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, and runoff. So this, in hydrological cycle, water is constantly moving from one place to another place through different processes like evaporation, condensation, sublimation, transpiration, and precipitation, infiltration, and runoff. So hence the sun, it is the main component which makes the hydrological cycle to function. So here in the hydrological cycle, the sun is the main component which makes the hydrological cycle to function. So this is the conclusion, and this is about the hydrological cycle and steps involved in the hydrological cycle. So importance of hydrological cycle for human life. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.